Organizations are increasingly handing over big decisions to artificial intelligence. We're talking about things like approving loans, screening job applicants, managing risk, and even monitoring for compliance. The appeal is obvious, it's fast. It can operate on a massive scale, and it promises to be objective. But there's a catch. Hidden beneath this promise is a subtle but powerful truth. AI doesn't get rid of our systemic weaknesses. Instead, it often transforms old, slow-moving problems into new ones that are faster, harder to understand, and much more difficult to spot. Let's break down how this happens. The first problem is what we can call overconfidence and narrow proxies. Every AI model is built to optimize a very specific goal, but that goal is always just a stand-in, a proxy for something much more complex and messy in the real world. When that proxy drifts away from reality, the AI keeps chasing the wrong target with unwavering confidence. For example, credit scoring algorithms trained on old repayment data ended up systematically penalizing entire demographic groups. Why? Because the proxy past repayment history didn't account for deep-seated structural inequalities. Similarly, recommendation engines designed to maximize how long you stay on a platform started pushing more and more divisive content. The proxy engagement time turned out to be a terrible measure of societal well-being. The second mechanism is the self-reinforcing feedback loop. Once an AI system is live, it's not just observing the world, it's actively participating in it. The decisions it makes today create the data it will be trained on tomorrow. This creates closed cycles of reinforcement that can spiral out of control. If an algorithm starts favoring certain job candidates, those candidates are more likely to succeed, and their success shows up in the data, which then strengthens the algorithm's original preference without someone actively watching for this. The drift can become permanent. Studies show that AI models in production can lose 10 to 30% of their effectiveness within 1 or 2 years if this kind of drift isn't caught. The third mechanism is the concentration of invisible risk. Modern deep learning systems are incredibly complex. Like a black box, even the people who build them don't always fully understand how they work. So, when an entire organization starts relying on the same foundational AI model or the same cloud prof, either for multiple critical functions, you're creating a massive single point of failure. A single undiscovered flaw, a clever adversarial attack, or a problem with that one provider can cause a catastrophic domino effect. The global outage of a major AI infrastructure provider in 2024 showed just how quickly depending on these invisible, shared components can paralyze entire industries. These aren't just theoretical worries, we see them playing out in the real world all the time. We see financial firms whose stress testing models failed to predict a market crash because the rare events that caused them weren't in the training data. We see hiring platforms that automatically downgrade resumes with certain keywords or from certain schools, reinforcing historical biases on a massive scale. And we've seen predictive policing systems that just kept sending officers to the same neighborhoods, generating more arrest data from those areas, which then seemed to justify the original bias deployment. The pattern is clear. AI doesn't just inherit our human biases, it often speeds them up, magnifies them, and hides them in ways that make them much harder to find and fix. So, the solutions can't just be technical tweaks. We need to think about the entire architecture. This means keeping humans in the loop for high-stakes decisions, setting up continuous monitoring systems specifically designed to detect drift, and diversifying the AI models and vendors we use to avoid putting all our eggs in one basket. We also need to design systems to be more transparent and resilient from the very beginning. The key takeaway is this: artificial intelligence isn't just a neutral tool that makes us better at what we already do. It's a powerful force that fundamentally transforms risk. If we don't actively examine how we're using it, it will quietly turn our familiar, manageable vulnerabilities into new, fast-moving, and systemic threats. So, think about your own organization. Where is relying on AI introduced unexpected blind spots or weaknesses? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your insights help everyone learn. For more deep dives into automation risks, systemic failures, and the hidden mechanics of modern institutions, subscribe to our channel, turn on notifications, and check out our other videos. Thanks for watching.